everybody, it's Wendy, and today we are going to make a beautiful necklace using beads from the April edition of the Curated Bead Box. So the Curated Bead Box is a monthly beading subscription service. They deliver a box of beautiful glass beads, a couple maybe of gemstone strands, but not always. It's mostly glass beads. And a findings pack to your door for $20 a month. It's a great deal. I do have a coupon code. It is Wendy35, and that will get you 35% off of your first box. So we're going to make a necklace, a really pretty bright colored necklace today. And I'm going to flip things down to the bead mat. So we are still in our in-laws' house today. This is Monday the 28th, and we are supposed to be closing on our house on Thursday the 31st. So I've been trying to film as many videos as possible so that when we move next week, I will still be able to put content up. So I've been trying to film a lot while I've been here at my in-laws' house. So this this necklace is going to be really bright and pretty, and I'm going to flip down to the bead mat, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have a bunch of really bright colored, beautiful beads. This month's box was called Light My Fire, and it's absolutely gorgeous. We have these really pretty marbled, these are 12mm marble style beads. We've got these 10mm, and I'm not sure what they were calling these, duo style, I believe. But they're kind of like a crackled glass in there, really pretty. We've got these are a gemstone bead. I don't know, it doesn't really say, it just says they're gemstone beads, so I don't know if they are quartz or jade, but they're one or the other. I'm kind of leaning toward quartz because they have some of the striations inside that quartz has, so I'm thinking they are a dyed quartz. They're beautiful. These are a faux gemstone. I believe these were the cherry faux gemstone beads. Aren't they pretty? These are the filigree, the gold filigree spacers. And then we've got these, which were called beach. Let me see here. I've got my box underneath my current bead container here, so I'm trying to be a little bit careful. These are called Seascape Abstract Glass Beads. Really pretty. So I will link the unboxing for you if you would like to watch that in the description box below this video, and it will have all of the item numbers for these beads if you would like to order. Okay, and then I've got some spacers and some bead caps from my own stash, just a few little bead caps and a few little spacers in gold or an antique gold. I have some crimp beads. These are 1.5mm crimp beads. I have 2 clamshell connectors. I have a length of Coriana chain in gold. I have a lobster claw clasp, 2 rings for the lobster to clasp onto the necklace and onto itself to close. And then I have a bunch of eye pins. You're going to need several eye pins. Whoops. And I have a chunky chain. Now this chain, I do not know where it came from. It's in my stash, and I don't know if I bought it somewhere, if it was gifted to me. It's from before I labeled things very well. But it's just a chunky chain. If you go on Amazon or anywhere, Hobby Lobby, they have chunky chains. So that's what this is. All right, and you're going to need your jewelry tools, and I believe that's everything. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So this is going to be a 3-layer necklace, and I'm going to show you here, once I get these little things out of the way, how we're going to lay this out. So let me move these beads up here. I'm just going to kind of move all the beads off to the side so I can get to what I need to get to, but so we can have our middle. Okay, so this chunky chain is going to be the middle, I believe the middle layer of the necklace, and I'm going to make this necklace to where it comes all the way up and closes in 3 different strands. So it could actually it could be layered. I don't know, I may do it that way. I may put them all together at the end. We'll see. But anyway, it's going to have 3 distinct strands going all the way up to the top. So for this strand that I want to be my middle strand, I have to kind of hold it up onto myself and measure where I want it to go. And I don't want this to be super long because it's my middle strand. So I am going to cut this chain right about here, and I will tell you here in just a second how long it is. Let me go ahead and cut it so I can remember. And this chunky chain is thick. It's kind of hard to cut, but all right, so let me measure this and we'll see exactly how long it is. And I'm still working out of my in-laws spare room, so it's kind of hard here, but so I've got 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, about 19.5 inches for this middle strand, okay? And then I'm going to take my Coriana chain and we're going to make the bottom strand out of the Coriana chain. So I want it to end at the same place as my chunky chain, so I'm just going to line it up here. Then I'm just going to bring it around on my bead mat just how it would hang if I was wearing it. So I want it to be a little bit lower than my chunky chain, not a whole lot lower, and you need to leave a little bit of extra room below your chunky chain because we're going to be making dangles to hang on this chunky chain. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up so we can see. So as you can see here, I've got about this much. I'm actually going to leave just a little bit more, so I'm just pulling it down a little bit more because when it hangs, you know, and the chunky chain has all these dangles, then I want this Coriana chain to have a room so the dangles aren't laying right on top of it. So let me cut this and I will measure it and we'll see how long this one is. And this is how I do multi-strand necklaces. I lay them out on my table. So this is 12, this is going to be about 20, yeah, right at 24 inches for this bottom strand, okay? And then the top strand we're going to make using eye pins and connections. So we're going to work on these 2 bottom strands first. So the first one that I'm going to work on is my chunky chain strand. Now I didn't tell you, you need head pins. We're going to need a bunch of head pins. Let me grab them. I didn't even get them out. Hold on. Okay, so this working out of somebody else's house is so hard. I'm just not having my stuff where I need it and all organized like I'm used to, but we're going to be moving here this week, and then it's all going to be back to normal. Thank goodness. I'm ready. All right, so let me move these over here. Now, I'm going to show you how I make my loops, and we're just going to make a bunch of dangles to hang on to this chunky chain, but just in the middle of it. I don't want dangles all the way up the sides. I want probably this center part here, maybe this 4-inch piece of this center part, but it needs to be in the very middle. So you need to line up your ends, you know, and make sure that it's in the very middle, and then kind of figure out how many dangles you want to put across, because I don't want to do the whole thing. It's just going to be a small section, but I want it to be really clustered up. So probably this section right in here, maybe this 3, let's see. Yeah, probably go about 3.5, this 3.5-inch section right here. Okay, and what we're going to do, grab my glasses back. We're going to make a bunch of dangles to go across it. I'm just going to scoot it up a little bit because we're not going to need it for a minute. Okay, so we're going to make a bunch of dangles just using, and I'm taking these, I've got some big long head pins. I'm taking them out because I don't really, you only need like a 1.5-inch head pin. You don't really need to use your bigger ones unless you want to do wrapped loops, and you can do wrapped loops. We may do wrapped loops. That would look good probably, and I'm going to hang them directly on the chain. So all right, so the way I'm going to start with a couple of the big ones, probably 4 or maybe just 3 of these big guys. And I'm probably going to go ahead and put a spacer on the bottom of each of these, one of these little spacers that I've got here, just so that this head pin doesn't go through the hole, because it can do that. And here's how I do my dangles. This is how I do them by hand. Now I do have a 1-step looper, but I really don't care for it. I mean, I can use it when I want to, but I don't know. It's not my favorite. I'd rather just do them myself. And we may do some wrapped loops. So the way I do this is I put my beads on. I come up just a teeny tiny little amount. See that little, I mean, it's a teeny tiny little amount right there. And I bend 90 degrees. It's really just enough to get above the bead. Okay, then I'm going to take my round nose pliers, if I can find them. And I'm going to grab it down at the bottom. I don't want a huge loop. I'm going to grab right down here at the bottom in the bend. Okay, then I'm going to come up and over like this. Then I have to rotate my pliers up like this to hold it right. I'm going to go under, and I'm going to leave this open. I'm not going to close that loop yet because we're going to put it on here and wrap it. So in order to do that, I'm just going to pick one of my links. I'm probably going to go right at the very middle here with this big bead. Going to slide it onto the chain, onto the link. And you may have to open it back up a little bit more, but I got it. And then I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to grab the loop right at the bend or the crossing where, let's see if I can get it on here, just right here where your wire crosses over. And I'm going to wrap. Now, you can either wrap with your fingers if your wire is not real stiff, or you can grab your pliers. I tend to like to use my pliers just because I feel like it makes it a little bit neater. Not that these have to be neat. Wrapped loops can be very messy. And then I'm just going to try to go around a couple of times, grabbing that. Yeah, it's a little bit fiddly when you're putting it straight onto the chain, but yeah, there we go. Just go around a couple of times till it's secure on there, and you know it's not going to unwrap and come off. And you can keep wrapping if you want until you get your whole wire wrapped, or you can just trim it. I'm just going to trim it. And there we have our little wrapped loop. And you can tuck in if there's a little snaggle sticking out. Just take your plier, tuck it in, and there it is. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to put my 3 big beads on first. I like to start with the bigger beads because then I can tell, I can fill in with the smaller beads, okay? So I'm going to do the same thing that I just did with the wrapped loop. I'm going to do it again, up and over, rotate my plier, bring my loop around. Probably going to go right here with this one. Get it on my link. I thought I left this loop open a little more than the last one, but it does not seem to want to go on there. Huh. Okay, let's open it up a little bit more. There we go. I like to use these tweezer nose pliers. These pliers are by Xuron. And I got mine at different places. Hobby Lobby has them. Of course, Michael's has them. Just, you know, any craft store probably. Joann's, I don't know if Joann's has them or not. I think Michael's does. I think Hobby Lobby, I know Hobby Lobby does. I'm not sure about Michael's or Joann's. But you can get them online too, so. But that, I have found these to be the best tools. They're a mid-priced plier. They're not super high and they're not super low, but they really have made my jewelry creating a lot easier. I did not realize until I got these how much difference a good plier makes, but it really does. Really does make a difference. So I invested over time. I didn't buy them all at once, but you can buy them over time, you know, or with coupons or whatever, and have yourself a good set of pliers. So that's what I did. All right, now we're going to make one more. And this bead is not wanting to go on the head pin. There we go. Every now and then, see that little chunk of something that was in that bead? If you have a little metal bead, sometimes they'll have a chunk of the metal in there, or I don't know, whatever it is that's the coating they put on. Just pop it out with your plier. Okay, coming up and over and around, and this one, I'm just going to go right about here, about evenly spaced for these big ones, and then we'll fill in, and we may put a couple more of the big ones, but I'm just going to get them kind of evenly spaced at first. All right, whoops. Come on now, go on the chain. Goodness, yeah. Okay, grab them with the tweezer nose pliers. And it's easier if you grab above the wire there. And we're just going to wrap. And like I said, it can be as messy or as neat as you want it to be. Sometimes I like these to be messy. Today I'm doing them pretty neat just because this necklace is lending itself a little less to boho and more to just kind of fancy. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. But right now I'm making my loops kind of neat. I'm not doing them too messy. On boho stuff, I love to make them really messy and wrappy and just really pretty. All right, let's get this one tucked under. And here we go. So there's our 3 big beads. Now, what we're going to do is, and let me make sure this is pretty even. It is. Okay, so I'm going to let this be my guide right here. I'm going to fill everything in, either one link to the on the outside of either of these or inside. And I'm going to use a mixture of all of these beads together, okay? So I'm going to grab a few of each one. I'm just going to lay a bunch out here. And I'm probably going to create quite a few little dangles, and we're going to just put them all in here. So go ahead, make all of your dangles up, however many you want. And, you know, it's kind of to your own taste how many you want and which bead you want to use. But go ahead and make all of your dangles up and then come on back and we will attach them. Okay, so I just realized that we can't make all of our dangles up unless you don't want to do wrap loops, because we have to put them on before we can complete our dangles. So what I'm going to do, I'll just show you what I'm going to do, and then you can kind of do it on your own, and then we'll come back. I'm just going to make all of my dangles and attach them in random spots. So like this little green guy, I'm just putting him on here. I'm going to try to space them out so I don't have, you know, 2 or 3 beads in the same spot of the same color. You don't really, unless that's the look you're going for, but that's not the look that I'm going for today. So let me cut that off, tuck it. Okay, so I'm just going to take them and I'm going to just space them all out through here. So like I'll put him here, I might put one of these, and what I can do, because I don't want them all to hang at the exact same level, is I can go ahead and close up some of the loops. So some of them I'm going to attach directly on here, and then some of them I'm going to go ahead and close their loop and just make a dangle and attach with a jump ring. Because if you don't, they're all going to hang at the exact same level, which if that's the look you want, that's fine. But I want mine to be, you know, have a little bit of variation, okay? So what I mean by that is, like, say I'm taking this bead right here, and as you can see, all these other beads are attached directly on. But this bead, I'm going to go ahead and close my loop. So I'm just going to go ahead and make the wrap loop like, you know, like we've been doing, except for I'm not going to put it on the chain. I'm going to go ahead and just make it like this. Wrap it. And then this loop will be closed up, and I will have to hang it on with a jump ring because it's closed already. So that will, hanging some of them on with a jump ring and some of them just directly on the chain will vary their heights. You know, they won't all be hanging at the exact same little level. So like this guy, I don't have my jump rings, I'll have to pull them out here, but when I hang him on, he'll go on with a jump ring, so it's going to hang him down just a tad, you know, maybe lower than that one, and it'll give them all some variation. So go ahead and, you know, use your own creative control, attach the ones that you want onto the chain, and then make your others like this with, and we'll go ahead and attach them with jump rings when we come back, okay? Okay, so I've got a baseline of my dangles hanging on here, and I have the jump rings from the Curated bead box, and I've got all of the rest of my wrap loop dangles made. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I've got paint on my finger, I'm going to take my jump ring, and I'm just going to hook these on in different places. So I made another of the big ones. I'm going to hang it right here. So I'm just spreading out, you know, trying to put them on randomly, but, and see how that's going to make that one hang just a tad bit lower than the rest. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to go across with one jump ring on several of the beads. So let's do this blue one here. And I'm going to just put him right here on this one. And all I'm doing is trying to even them out, put them on evenly, so one end doesn't look heavier than the other. Let's put this guy right here. Okay. Let's do a gold one. One of these little guys, maybe right here in the middle. And every now and then, just pick it up and look at it, shake it around. And just make sure that everything looks kind of even. So let's see what I can do now with this one. Where do I need another yellow? I think I need a yellow over here on the end. So let's do this yellow guy. I'm going to put him right here. Okay, so now I've got a good level. I have the baseline that's on the chain, and it doesn't matter which way they flip it. They're going to flip and flop around. And then I have ones hanging down a little more, jump ring. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to either take two jump rings, or I'm going to take like this jump ring here, and let's use this one. And I'm going to hang it from one of the other ones. So I could take this one and I could hang it like from this little gold one here if I wanted to. If it'll fit. No, it may not fit on there. Let's see, where else? I could go over here. So I could take this jump ringed one, and I don't have any over here with jump rings. It kind of needs to be, I could hang it from this jump ring on this one. Let's do that. And I'll just show you. It just gives it another level, so it's going to hang down a little more. See, so we're going to have all these little beads, and they're going to be just clustered up, hooked together, like hooked to each other, hooked to the chain, but everything kind of spread out to where we don't have one solid color together. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to hook that one on there, and there is no right or wrong. I mean, this is a big cluster. It's going to be really pretty and colorful when we're done. So there is no right or wrong with it. I'm going to hook him right here. And you can do as many or as few as you want. I don't want a whole big bunch, but, you know, I want it to look full just in this little area. But that's totally up to your own creative control. Let's see, let's put him right here. We need a yellow one there. And this box had so many more pretty beads in it. There's a whole peach. The peachy ones I haven't even used on this necklace, so I probably will use those later on something else. Let's put him right there. I don't know, that's a lot of, let's go over here with him. So yeah, there's a ton more beads in this. This box is a great value. Okay. And I just kind of keep picking it up and looking at it, making sure everything looks, you know, evened out and decent. And you can add on more if you feel like you need more. Let's see, I'm going to hook this one all the way down here on this guy. Okay. So as you can see, they just kind of cluster around. Hang and dangle. They're just really pretty. Oh, let's go right here with him. And one more. Where are we going to put this guy? I think he needs to go kind of right in here. Right here, maybe. Okay. Just take a look at it, see if you like it. I may do one more or two more kind of down low. So let me, let's see. I'll do a yellow one and hang it kind of down low here. And these head pins these are not the head pins that they sent. I should pull them out. These are just the head pins that were in my stash and they're like all bent up. All right, let's do this guy. Okay, go ahead and do the wrapped loop on him, and then I'm going to take a jump ring and just make him dangle down just a little bit more, because I have that one blue one that's dangling down all by itself. So we need at least one more. Okay. All right, let me grab another jump ring. I love the Curated Bead Boxes jump rings. They are just the best. Here's the ones from another month. They're my favorite. I don't know why, but they're the perfect thickness. I just love them. Whoops. All right, so let's take this one and hook it from this one. I'm actually hooking it from the loop on that one, so it's going to hang down a little bit lower. Okay, now let's look. Yeah, I like that. That looks good. Okay, so now we're done with this strand. So we're just going to lay this out right here. Now we're going to do our floating bead strand, and this one's going to be fun. Okay, so I'm laying that out like I want it to be. Here's my next strand. And you can kind of, if you want to lay them together like this, you can, or you can just do your floating bead one however you want. I kind of like to lay them together because that way I can see, you know, what I've got where. So let's look at our beads. Let's take, let me tip up just a little so you can see the top. Now I'm not going to go all the way up to the top because that won't show, but like right here. And I think I may use some of the bead caps on these floating bead ones, so I might do this guy, the big guy, with a couple bead caps, and this blue one, okay? So then I'm going to do this randomly. There's not going to be a certain amount of beads anywhere. I might do like that. Come down here, we'll do this one, and this one, and you just design it the way you like it. This one. Kind of like to do the big one in the middle here, maybe with, let's do him on this side, and do I want to do the gold one on that side? Yeah, that looks kind of cool. Then over here, we'll do yellow, pink, and blue. No, that's kind of what I've got over there. I don't want to do the exact same thing. So that's it. You kind of have to watch and, you know, just change them up if you can. So we'll do the yellow on top, the pink, and then the blue on the bottom. That's still too similar. Let's see. What do I want to do here? I definitely could use the pink. Let's do the pink, the gold up here, and the blue on the bottom. That looks good. Okay, then we'll do, let's do another big one right here. Gonna do the bead caps on him. I'll probably do the bead caps on this big one on the bottom too. And maybe yellow right here. No, I've got yellow on the other side. Let's do the pink and yellow. There we go. And then one more little group up here. Let's do him on the top. We'll do the yellow in the middle and the bright pink on the bottom. That looks good. So to do my floating, now if you can see, well, you can't see, let me tip this up just a bit. Okay, I'm sorry for the mess up here, but these two sides are pretty much even. And I want to keep it that way. So I want there to be kind of the same amount on each side. So what I need to do is I need to take my crimp bead. Where'd they go? I had a whole pile. What did I do? Oh, there they are. I was going to say, I had a bunch of crimp beads out here. So I just need to put my crimp bead on. And I'm going to move it down to the bottom of these beads, right about here, okay? And I'm just going to crimp it down. And again, this does not have to be an exact science, okay? This is just your own personal preference design. So I'm going to do this side first, and then we're going to go do all the others. But this one, I'm just going to, that way nothing will fall off this end. I'm going to put my big bead on. My bead cap again. And this bead. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to use another crimp bead. Now, this crimp bead is going to be, I'm just going to let gravity do its work, let it fall, and crimp it. I'm not going to press things together and make it real tight. You know, you want it to have a little bit of movement. You don't want it to be stick straight. Okay, so there's that one. Now, we've got to come around and do this one. And so I'm going to take my wire, put my bead on, come all the way around to about right there. May go up just a tad right here and crimp it down. Oh, I didn't put my beads on. Okay, so we're going to go below it. That's a problem. Okay, let's go ahead and put this one on, and then we'll put our yellow one on. You got to make sure that you put your beads on when you're crimping the bottom first. I just wasn't thinking. Put my yellow bead on. And now we'll put another crimp bead and crimp that guy down. Again, just let gravity pull, don't squeeze it, and close that up. Okay, so now what did we have? I have these three here maybe? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to take my crimp bead. I'm going to go all the way up to the top of those beads. That's why it's a good idea to lay your beads out here so you can kind of see where you need them to go. So I'm crimping that. Whoops, not on film, am I? Not on frame. Let me scoot this down. Sorry. And then I'm going to put these three beads on. So I want him first. And this one. Then this one. Okay, then I'm going to crimp my second little crimp bead. So this is how easy making this floating bead section is. It's totally your own creative control how you want to do it. And you just put your beads on and then crimp so they float. Okay, so let's pull this around. So right now it's looking like this. And I'm coming up a little short on the other end there. There we go. Okay. Okay, so we've got this kind of here. I wanted that one to be right in the middle, so I may just do him by himself right there. Let's do that. So I'm going to pull this, put this little crimp bead on. That one's tiny. Let me grab a different one. Okay, come right around here, crimp it down. Okay, and then I'm going to put on the bead cap. Nope, need to go the other way, don't I? There we go. This big bead and another bead cap. Okay, and then I'm just going to put my next crimp bead on. If I can get it, I think that's the same little one I picked up a minute ago. Okay, here we go. Well, telling y'all, I'm burning up. My mother-in-law and father-in-law keep this house so hot. And we're upstairs, so it's like the heat rises, I guess. And it is, it's not that hot outside, but it is hot in here. I think they've actually had the heat on. And I mean, it's been like 75 in the day here. So we really don't need the heat on, but it's been on. I've been so hot. Okay, now, let's see. I think I need to do a yellow bead here. So let's do this. And you don't have to do 3 beads on each. You know, you can do 1, you can do 2, you can do 6 or 7 if you want. So I think I'm going to do this right here, this yellow. I may switch it up and do the blue one first and then the yellow. But let's get the crimp bead all the way down to right about there. Okay, and actually, I think I'm going to do this one, this little filigree guy. These are a little hard to get your chain directly through the middle holes, but it will go if you keep playing with it. There we go. So we're going to put that one on, and then this one, and then the yellow. We'll see that. Does that make it too uniform? No, that's pretty good. Okay, then we're going to crimp again. Whoops. Having trouble hanging on to those little crimp beads today, aren't I? And when you crimp on this chain, you just have to, you know, smash it down enough to where it's just going to stay. It doesn't have to be super tight. You just don't want it to move. Okay. So now we've got, let's see, let's do this one. And maybe these two, that looks good. And this is what I do. I just kind of lay it out and just design it like I like it. It doesn't have to meet anyone's specifications but mine. And it can be, you can make these even, you can space them out, you can do it however you want. It's totally up to you, and it's fun. It's fun just to design it however you want it to be. Okay, there's those two. Gonna put a crimp bead. Okay, crimp that down. Now, let's see, I want this big guy to be right about here. Just kind of looking at how I have things laying. I'm going to move him up a little. I'm going to do him, I think, just by himself. Well, no, I'm not either. I'm going to do him and this one and the bright pink. Yeah, kind of the opposite of what's over there, sort of. Let's go down here with our crimp bead. Let's get this crimp bead on. Believe it or not, I've got my glasses on too. I'm just having trouble with the small things today. It happens. Okay, so here's my crimp bead. Let's scoot it up. Let's go right about there probably. Okay, and I'm going to do the bead cap, my larger bead, this bead cap, and then I'm probably going to do my red and then my blue. Red or pink and then the blue one, and crimp it down. Okay, just like that. All right, so we have our middle layer. I think that's pretty good. I think that's done. Now we need to go up here with our top layer. And with our top layer, I'm going to use eye pins. And I'm going to make just a bunch of connections, okay? So I want it to lay, you know, it's got to come up here to the top with the other two. obviously. And I could put a little chain on the end of it if I wanted to just make it longer, but I'm going to make connections that come all the way here, probably down a little more. So I'm just going to use the same beads that I've been using, all my beads here. And I'll show you what I'm going to do. And on this one, I'm probably going to use some of these spacers, these gold spacers that I haven't used yet. So let's grab some beads over here. So here's my eye pin, okay? And I'm just going to make a bunch of connections. So I'm going to go like blue bead, big bead, and maybe the red bead. Okay, so like this. And then I'm going to just make a loop on the end. So bend it 90 degrees. And we're going to trim it. Where'd my cutters go? They were just here. Oh, that's not them. And I'll be glad to get my own place. Get everything back where it goes. Okay, so I'm just going to cut that off. And we're going to roll a loop back. So just like this. Okay, make sure your loop's closed. And there's one connection. Now, I don't know if I want to put the connections all the way up here. I'm probably going to attach some chain to it. So the leftover chain that I have here, I probably will attach, because this is going to be around the back of your neck. So it's not going to show anyway. And that way, you know, you don't waste as many beads that way. So, but there's one connection. So for the next one, I might do, let's see, the yellow bead. Let's do a spacer and a blue one. And you want to make them all different, okay? Different sizes, different beads, or I do anyway. Like I said, you can do what you want. You can make them all uniform if you want, but for the look I'm going for, I want them all to be a little different. So I'm just gonna, and then I would lay that one there. Now, I am going to connect them together with jump rings, so keep that in mind when you're making your length here, okay? So next, let's see. Let's do a bead cap. Well, wait a minute. We'll put this guy in the middle right here. So let's do a pink bead, a little spacer, this guy, and this gold one. And I'm just totally randomizing it. I want them all to be different. Just completely random. And my round nose pliers. If I wanted to add an extra jump ring on the end to make it longer, I could. So I'm just going to cut this chain now. Find my cutters again. One of these days I'll be in a good place again. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this chain. And I'm going to take a head pin and do, this is how I measure. So you want the same on both sides, obviously. So I'm just going to measure it and cut it right here. Okay. And then all I'm going to do is take the jump rings, same thing, and hook it right onto here. So just going to use my little jump ring and hook it right onto my link pieces. Just like this. We're about done. This is about the end. This has been a long one. I'm sorry, but you know, it takes time when you're I can't really make it happen any faster unless I fast forward the video, and I don't really like to do that. I like people to be able to see the process and see what I'm doing. And I may be the only one on YouTube that likes people to see the process and see what I'm doing, but that's the way I do my videos, so I just feel like it's better that way, especially for new people, you know? You can kind of see the process. I think it's better. Okay. So I'm going to put this right in here. And I know a lot of people don't like all my talking in the video, but I personally hate to watch videos where they don't talk. I like people to explain what they're doing. And I've been watching some videos on acrylic painting lately, pouring, acrylic pours. And the ones where they don't talk, I don't even watch them. I mean, I need to know what's going, I need to know why they're doing what they're doing and how. And if they don't talk in the video, you don't know. So, okay. So here we have all of our ends. Now we have to finish our Coriana chain ends so we can hook them on. And the way that we do that is with these clam shells. So it's very simple. You take your Coriana, you put it through the bottom of the clam. You put your crimp bead on, just like this. If I can get it on. And my website will be back up and running probably next week. This Coriana chain is on there. Clamshells will be on there. And hopefully next week. So I just go ahead and I smash that little crimp bead down just like I've done through the whole necklace. And then I'm going to close this clamshell cover up. Okay. And that gives us a little connection on the end that we can put our ring through. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Oh, that crimp bead's broken. Let's get a different one. We don't want a broken crimp bead, and that one's teeny. Here we go. Okay. And if you don't feel like this is secure, even though I've made hundreds of necklaces, I think, using this method and never had a problem, but you're welcome to put some E6000 in there. Okay, so there we have it. Now we're going to take our ring. Here's my big ring. I hope this clamshell will fit through this ring. I may have to get a smaller ring for this part of it. Yeah, he's way thick. Let me get a little bit thinner one. Not that. Here we go. We could, if you wanted, you could finish each necklace separately. That's what I'd talked about in the beginning. But I'm not going to do that. I think I'm just going to put them all on one ring here, just like this, and close this up. And if you wanted to finish each one separately, like I said, you could. And then, okay, so the camera quit recording because my storage was full. I had to empty it. So what I did is I hooked all three of these on this ring, then put a ring on and a lobster, and same thing over here. I hooked all three on the ring, and then put this ring on for the lobster to clasp onto. So there's my finishing, and here's the necklace. So I am going to put this on so you can see how it hangs on me, and I will be right back. Okay, so this is not the best shirt to be wearing to showcase this necklace, and to pull it way down in the front because it's got these crisscross things, but this is the way the necklace would lay if you were wearing it. And I do like it. I think it's super cute. I love all of the bead dangles, the bright colors. It's very happy, very statement necklacey. You would just want to wear like a regular shirt probably and not have to pull your shirt down on YouTube. But anyway, this is it. I hope you guys liked it. You can add more dangles. You can do whatever you want. I mean, it's just very customizable in the way that you make it your own. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will have links for Curated bead box in the description box below this video. And please subscribe to the channel if you have not. It helps me greatly. It's completely free. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button and ring the bell if you want to see when I upload more videos, because I'm doing a lot of sets. I'm getting ready to do another bargain bead box necklace. And then I'm going to have a finished jewelry update that's going to show everything I've made while I've been here at my in-laws, which has been a lot of stuff. So, alright guys, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.